are these people?
Kyle Anzalone, another Indie Media Award honoree from Anti-War and the Libertarian Institute, U.S. to spend $1 trillion on nuclear weapons over the next decade. Insane. This is insane. I'll put the link in the chat. You'll have in the description. You'll have to take a look at that. Next, I wanted to mention, earlier on I talked about Sludge and what good work David Moore and Donnie are doing. This one was another really important article that I probably should have brought for the show, but it didn't really fit with the narrative, with where I was going tonight. Lutnick's firm, that's Cantor Fitzgerald, bought Bitcoin company stock. That's MicroStrategy. I don't know if you remember, a couple of weeks ago, we covered Michael Saylor and talked about what a Ponzi his company stock is and why he's entering into debt that he can never possibly service. And the whole thing's going to collapse in probably 5 to 7 years at most. All right. Now, Cantor Fitzgerald is buying into Strategy. They renamed the company from MicroStrategy to just Strategy. They get rid of the micro. All right. They're buying more Bitcoin through Strategy now. I love they're calling it Strategy.
Have a good time with your Bitcoin, your crypto, and everything else that you're playing with.
Stupid. They're putting all of this money into a company that's now sucking all the liquid cash out that's being put in, paying himself out. You got to watch the story. And that was another Sludge story about Michael Saylor and Strategy. So again, support Sludge. They're doing good work. I got one more from Sludge, but wow, this one, I had to throw this in. Our buddy Jeremy Ward, brother, friend of the show, posted this up from Jake Johnson at Common Dreams, a headline. Under cover of night, the GOP unveils a plan to kick over 8 million people off of Medicaid, put work requirements in, eliminate all kinds of subsidies and benefits that benefits literally 1 in 5 Americans so they can send more money to Israel and overfund the cops and rebuild Alcatraz like the fucking dumbass wants to do. We covered that last week. Okay. Next, another Sludge article from David Moore at PPolitics on Twitter. Peter Thiel ally in line to oversee drug deregulation. Now, this was over a month ago, but we've been talking about the dangerousness of Peter Thiel and his infiltration into our government, his tangled web of connections everywhere, where he's got all kinds of control with a phone call and can make all kinds of shit happen. This guy's name is Jim O'Neill. Okay. Trump's picked to be Deputy Secretary of Human Health and Human Services under Booby Kennedy, criticized the FDA's drug approval process as overly cautious while directing a Thiel-funded VC firm that invests in biotech. Naturally. So check that out. Again, links will be in the description. This is a very long article, and it's not the first time that ProPublica has talked about this. We buy ugly houses. I'm sure you've probably seen those billboards around the country. But
it's free real estate.
It's far from free real estate. This was a very long article, but Incalculable Damage, how a We Buy Ugly Houses franchise left a trail of financial wreckage across Texas. So those are franchises, those billboards that you saw, that some company was licensing out the rights to make those billboards and to get people to sell their houses on the cheap because they were ugly. And then figure out what to do with them. ProPublica, by the way, won a Pulitzer Prize for journalism, independent journalism, recently. Shout out to ProPublica, doing a good job. All right, that wasn't so bad. I got through the lightning round. That was a real lightning round. Lightning round, lightning round, lightning round. Now, we got a couple other housekeeping things, and then we'll get out of here and do boats in about 15 minutes. Our friend Chanda got her PET scan. Thankfully, no new tumors found. Looks like the cancer has been receding, and they have not found any more cancer in her. Thank God. But she still needs our help. She needs funding. She's got a $5,000 goal on her GoFundMe. over 1,000 raised so far. We've contributed here at INN. Thank you to helping us.
It's not a tumor.
No, not in this case. It's not. It was arthritis, allegedly. But one where there is a tumor is AnnaMari Zygmunt Smith, Andrew's daughter, who's here on the left. She's been going through blindness due to brain tumors. And they have raised over almost $6,000 already. They raised their goal up to $6,500. Anything anybody can do to help. She's learning Braille and to walk with a cane now. And this is intensive. Again, 5 days a week, 6.5 weeks of treatments to try to stop the cancer and to give her some kind of a normal life. So anything you can do to help our brother Andrew out. Again, Andrew's one of the best of us. He was one of the hosts of Action for Assange, one of the co-founders of Action for Assange. When the show stopped running at one point, he and another person decided to continue doing it themselves. And man, I remember he famously went to a town meeting in a bowler hat and scared the shit out of all his local officials and made the newspaper. Andrew's a G, man. He's one of us. I referenced earlier, I did a one-on-one this week with 7C's independent researcher. We talked about some of these narrative networks that are run by Michael Flynn, that are run by Jordan Peterson, and all the shadowy figures that are connected to them, how they get funding, how they push propaganda out, who they have convenient relationships with, and it starts to help you put a picture together of how all this stuff gets put out and coordinated. Really important to understand. So by all means, that will be in the description. Check out the one-on-one on INNnewsletter.com. That was put out. It's as a live stream, so it's on all of our video channels. It's on YouTube, it's on Rumble, but we also put it out as a podcast and Substack post at INN Newsletter. And that's where I'm showing you that right here. One more thing, we are live over at IndieNewsNow.com. Like I said, we've been making updates and changes. We've now added categories to IndieNewsNow.com. So if you want to just see the articles or just go to the podcasts, you can now get to this section, which will focus on Substacks that are and Rumbles that are just podcasts. Scott Horton Show, for example. All right. JB, the Independent Review, just a few, to name a few. All right. And then there's the videos tab where we're working on bringing Rumble videos and Odyssey videos into the mix. Okay. And then, of course, like I said, our Watch Live tab where you can watch this show and the next show, Boat Smashing and Other Boats, and every INN show live on this thing, platform free, and chat using this Discord if you want to. All right. One other thing. Oh, I wrote an article this morning. So that's at Indie Media Today, and this was inspired by two people. Number one, our friend Michael Ginsberg from Actionable Truth and Actions over on Substack. Go follow him there. And by our friend Kit Cabello over at Hardlens Media. Everybody knows and loves Kit. Kit messaged me the other day, and he's like, hey, how do I back up my Patreon and Substack subscribers? Because just in case. That's a good question, and I really appreciate you asking. Let me Google that for you. Not really, but let me help you. And he knows that I'm routinely in these platforms, so I know where to do that. So I put together a little article about how and why you need to be exporting your subscriber list, because these platforms can turn us off. But luckily, Patreon and Substack allow you the ability to export your lists. And I show how here to help fund the media you want to see. Please. Okay, over at Cash App, $, Indie News Network, co-v.com/Indie News Network, paypal.me/Indie News Network, and INNnewsletter.com or IndieMediaToday.com. All those are great places to support independent media. Thank you again so much to everyone who supported independent media, kids, because we need it more than ever. And I love you, and have a good night, fam.
Keep listening to what boats have to tell you.
No! We just fucking lost the stream!
You can't keep giving us nothing and think we're bluffing about coming for your heads. Why play civil if you won't listen? 50,000 died, and now we know our mission. We form a militia, make Congress a prison.